Yeah, man. The
Let me
silver
see that.
bullet.
I've never seen a silver bullet in the bottle.
Oh, come on, dude. You haven't seen silver bullet?
Oh yeah, that looks familiar now.
Oh yeah, yeah.
The
I just was in the store and I was like, man, I don't know. I'm just gonna get some silver bullet. I've been buying a lot of the craft beer, and I think that craft beer's been getting to me a little bit, man. So,
Ooh.
so yeah. So I went with something a little bit lighter.
Oh yeah.
Well, brother. I just wanted to appreciate you, hooking up with me and talking about this. And we've been trying this for several tries now. Technical issues on my end and your
Oh my
end. So,
God.
so yeah. So I'm glad that it's finally working now.
Yeah, me
But
too, man.
but tell me, how's everything been, man? How's everything going in Carolina Beach, Carolina Beach,
Yep.
and your store opened back up, and you're seeing a lot of foot traffic coming in?
Yeah, pretty good bit of foot traffic. The hotels are back opened here. Parking is open. Pretty much everything's wide open except for restaurants. We still can't have people eating at a restaurant, They're really bummed about that. All my buddies who own restaurants are kind of freaking out. They at least should allow, in my opinion, they should allow like at least outdoor seating, and fresh air. I don't understand how that's like, you can go into a Walmart or a Home Depot, but you can't sit outside of a restaurant and eat.
I know. I've heard a lot of that. I mean, you go into grocery stores around people all the time, and the restaurants are feeling the effects. But yeah, that was here in Virginia. They were actually planning on doing a phase one opening of restaurants that had patios and stuff like that. And the mayor of city of Richmond shut it down. And it was, so they shut it down because there was a concern, for the, actually a lot of Richmond has a huge African-American population, and they've been affected in the downtown Richmond area, and they wanted to maybe go a little bit slower as far as opening things up, but it was just like a last minute deal. They were planning, like, the client that I work with that has a restaurant, he has a huge patio, and they were sending me messages like, all right, we need to get a Facebook post up. We need to, get some pictures up. We need to, communicate and let them know what we're doing. And, and then I got a message from the owner. He's like, nope. It's all shut down for right now. So we'll see I guess in a couple weeks, we'll see what happens. So it's definitely interesting, man. It's been crazy, but I'm glad. Crazy. So what have they been doing as far as like when people come in the store? I mean, what have you guys been doing as far as like, I guess, safety things and handling? I
mean, basically so when we first opened up, we were allowed 20% of people. Or 20% capacity, which my shop here is about 500 square feet. And the capacity that they told me I was allowed was 10 people for every 1,000 square feet. Since I'm 500 square feet, I was allowed to have like, at the beginning, I think I was allowed to have like between 3 and 4. I talked to some officers and they were like, we don't know, So I kind of just went with the 3 or 4. As soon as people come in, I still do this. Hand sanitizer immediately to everybody. I don't require a mask, but I do wear a mask myself sometimes. And if people feel like it, since we're not required to do it, I don't really want to chase customers away.
Right.
So hand sanitizer, 3 to 4 people. And then, every time somebody comes in and leaves, I wipe down. Clorox wipes everywhere. And now we're at 50%, so I'm allowed like 7 people at a time.
Okay.
And I mean, it's a pretty small store, so even 7 people, it starts getting kind of crazy.
A little crazy.
A little bit. So I've been limiting it to like 5, just to be safe.
Oh yeah, you got to be. I mean, we just don't know, man.
I know.
It's just like you hear different reports. I mean, as everybody has heard on the news, and it's just like you hear this one thing, and then it changes to something else. So just to be on the safe side, you got to just got to be, just try to be smart as you can. But I guess you were about to open the place up right before this hit.
Well, we did.
Yeah.
We opened March 13th on Friday the 13th.
Right.
Had a great Friday. Saturday, Sunday crushed it, and everybody's like, oh, this little disease is kind of going crazy.
Yeah.
And, we were like, well, we got to open, we're scheduled to open. We're going to do it. And it was kind of a soft opening. We weren't completely done in here. And then we just 2 weeks later, you saw it dwindle. Like the people who are out and about were just dwindling, getting smaller and smaller. And we actually closed before we were required to, just because, I don't know, it just felt like the right thing to do. Everybody was talking about it. Side. Yeah. Safety for me. And also people were because places were open, people were using that as an excuse to leave the house, and not stay home and not do the stay-at-home orders and all that stuff. So we decided to go ahead and close. We closed probably 4 or 5 days before they told us we had to.
Right.
And, we weren't doing any business anyway, but, it just felt like the right thing to do. And then we were closed, I think, 3.5 or 4 weeks for a solid month, I think. And at first, online was really good because, we've been an online store for a while, for 4 years, I think.
Oh, yeah. That's when y'all started out as, because I remember when y'all first started out as the Carolina Surf Film Festival.
Yeah.
And then I guess the brand, Carolina Surf brand, just kind of grew from y'all starting that back in at Folly
yeah.
Beach. And,
2014.
Yeah, because that's when I first moved back to South Carolina, when you guys were launching off the first deal. And then I remember there was that one movie that, what was it? The Chris Del Moro surf film.
Yeah. What was that called? I can't remember anything.
Yeah.
That was a good one at the Terrace.
Yeah, I was like, man, I wanted to see that film so bad, and y'all were going to show it at the festival, and I couldn't. I just started work, and I was, I can't get off to see it. Yeah. But yeah, that was the first. I think y'all had it at the Brick House.
Yep.
Because that was the first time that y'all had it. Was the Brick House?
That was the first year. And so that was kind of how the spawn the brand was. We made up T-shirts for the first year of the festival, and they pretty much sold out. The first night we sold a ton, and then the second, it was a 3-night festival the first year. So
I remember that.
Yeah. And then by the third night, we were completely sold out of T-shirts. So we were like, crap, well, the logo's good. Everybody sit up and say, love the logo.
Right,
so,
yeah.
There it is.
Right, yeah, bro.
Look at that.
Yeah.
And so me and Bo were like, well, let's turn it into a brand,
Right.
And so we turned it into a brand, and, it's been through so much. It's been a lot of fun, but it's been more work than I've ever put into anything,
Oh yeah, man. It's a lot of work when you're doing something on your own. And
I know.
You guys were I remember, when we were when I was with Warrior Surf and Warrior Surf Foundation, and you guys were super helpful to us and just picking y'all's brain, because y'all kind of went through that, when we wanted to do the hats and we wanted to do the T-shirts for the foundation, and you guys had already kind of channeled through that stuff. super helpful for us to get that started, because we were like, oh man, how can we do this? And we're like, started thinking about it. I was like, all right, let's call Chad, see what he says. And he let us borrow the hat press.
That's right.
Press on the first episode.
I still have that thing.
Yeah, Andy and I totally probably ruined the first 5 hats. So he got the patch came up all it's all screwed up. And then we had a couple of guys. We were telling I sent I guess it was on Facebook on our community page. It was Andy and I are making hats, and I don't know, Kenny showed up and some other guys showed up, and it ended up being a little hat pressing party, and people were taking turns pressing it. And I still have one of them. I kept
really?
One of them. Yeah. Oh yeah. It's one. It had one with a little small patch on it. I had about 4 of them, but I ended up giving them away to friends that were like, hey man, can you get me a Warrior Surf hat? And I was like, matter of fact, I have one of the originals if you want one of those. But I kept one for myself, man. I keep it up in my closet. I don't wear that one just to hang on to it for sentimental value. But yeah, you guys were in Charleston, and then y'all started doing a lot of the festivals around the Charleston and Folly Beach area to kind of get the brand out there as well. And I think another time that we hooked up with you guys was at the IOP's surf thing with IOP, where we met up with Liam.
Yeah.
I met Liam at that time, and that was you guys had the booth, and that's when y'all had the South Carolina
Oh yeah.
A shirt on there with the state of the South Carolina with the surfer on it.
Yeah.
And my son saw that one. He's like, Dad, I need to get that one. So I like it so much. Liked it so much. I ended up getting one for myself too. I still have it too. I have two of them. But yeah, tell me a little bit more like about that. I mean, you guys were with Carolina Surf Brand, and you saw that this was kind of, you sold the T-shirts at the festival, and then you just felt a need that we could carry our, your own brand, come out with hats and surf gear. I mean, is that how it worked out for you guys?
Pretty much. And Ocean jumped behind us right off the bat, really, because I was working there at Ocean Surf Shop on Folly Beach. And Bates was a huge influence and just kind of testing the waters, in a retail environment. And it sold so well, that it's still, I don't think we outsell their brand, the Ocean t-shirt, but we're right behind it,
Oh yeah.
He's definitely one of our better retailers that we still sell to.
Yeah. We still should have got him to make that shirt, man.
I know. I can't believe, dude.
I remember when you did the post on Instagram. It just like all these people were getting. I got in on it. I was like telling my friends. I was like, "Hey guys, get on there and say yes." It just kept. I think I got a text or maybe an email from him, and he was like, "All right, man, we'll try it out. Maybe we'll try it out." Just to stop all the messages. So that was hilarious. But yeah,
great shot.
Oh yeah. I mean, I thought it would be I know Brandon, Brandon was a huge supporter behind it. He definitely wanted a t-shirt. And I said, even offer it as a, limited edition. And I thought it would be pretty cool, but maybe we can still talk him into it.
You got to draw one of mine now.
All right.
I'll put that shit on a t-shirt.
Hey man, I'll do it for you. You know that.
Do it.
Yeah. Well, but you were saying the Ocean was kind of brought that, and then you guys started doing some of the festivals around town and just saw it grow. And when did y'all get into sponsorship? I mean, y'all started sponsoring some of the local surfers around the area as well.
We sponsored some ESA contests too. Jasper Millis was our first team rider. He was followed probably by Jenny Brown, I think. Jenny Brown, Sean Ducker.
Now Jenny owns one of the surf schools.
Shaka Surf School.
Yeah, that's right. I've met her before.
We pretty much sponsor her entire family because they're just a bunch of rippers, Right. Chris Brown is probably one of the better surfers on Folly Beach. That's just so underground. You won't see him posting pictures of himself surfing, but they all rip. To the two daughters, everybody in that family is amazing. Yeah, they're all water people. Chris and Jenny sailed around the world on a sailboat, all these different places for a couple of years. They're from Myrtle Beach.
Are they
Conway?
really?
They might be from Conway.
I know. Yeah, my grandmother used to live in Conway.
Nice.
I know Conway well.
Yeah.
I think I met Jenny with you one time when we did one of the beach cleanups, and then just being out there surfing, I ran into her a couple of times out there.
Yeah, she's a ripper.
She was. I mean, I could tell she was out there ripping it hard. But yeah, who else? I mean, some of the other team riders, and I mean, how many did y'all get up to as far as how many surfers you guys sponsored?
We got Thomas Cannon, Avery Fun, Jasper Millis, Jenny Brown, Annie O'Brien. We had what's that guy? Sean Ducker, who's been a ripper forever since he was a little kid. An unbelievable surfer on Folly Beach. But he's the same thing, he's so under the radar and everything. Him and Chris Brown are kind of similar in that respects. And then there was somebody, man, I can't remember. I think it's Scott Long.
I've heard that name.
Yeah, he's a ripper too, and he surfs every day. I haven't talked to him in a while. That's part that opening the shop, I really kind of had to you have to prioritize things, and the team riders, although I really care about them a lot, opening the shop, I think made me had to be a little selfish as far as just sales, focus on stuff that were going to grow the brand. Because, I mean, as much as I love sponsoring people,
Sure.
I think it works out. A lot of bigger companies, of course, do not think it has a good ROI, return on investment. Evidently, Hurley dropped like most of their team when they got bought.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they did.
Nectar sponsored Jamie O'Brien for a year. They said they didn't see any return on investment on that, Mm-hmm. So it is a catch-22 almost. I mean, that's kind of why I love doing this is I love sponsoring kids and having them if I can help them realize their dream to be a pro surfer and they can achieve it, that's worth it right there for me. Easily.
That's very cool. That's very cool, man.
Easily.
Yeah. Now what you decided to open, the Carolina Surf Brand store, which was this year. I know you're from North Carolina, so I mean, was that a factor as far as where you were going to open the shop up? Because you guys were based originally out of Charleston, Folly Beach area. I mean, was there any discussion of you guys, opening your first store there, or you just felt like you needed to branch out and go back up to North Carolina?
Yeah. Well, my wife is from Wilmington, and I was born right outside of Charlotte, and actually I was born in Charlotte, but my family lived in Belmont, just right outside, and then we moved to Charleston after that, and I kind of moved all over the place. You would think I was an Army brat, but I wasn't. my dad switched jobs a bunch, so I spent a lot of time all over the Southeast. But we always had a house on Oak Island, North Carolina, so that's where we would spend a lot of time. So that kind of I knew about Wilmington, I knew about Carolina Beach. I would come up here all the time in the summer, and not the summer, but during college. We would follow swells up here. The surf is always better up here. I don't care what anybody says. Folly definitely has its days. There's no doubt about it. It's an amazing spot. It's the best spot in South Carolina. I don't care what it.
Yeah, I feel. Oh, well, I mean, I'm kind of partial to it, but I mean, it definitely. I've surfed some spots in North Carolina. I mean, I'm impressed with how clear the water is, dude.
I know.
I mean, I've been to Wilmington or Wrightsville, and it's like you walk in like waist deep, and you can see your feet. That's unheard of when you're at Folly, so where else did I go? Atlantic Beach. I went there one time. That was a long time ago when I went there. And then Carolina Beach. There was another place in that area that I went. I can't remember. But there's so many cool. No, I haven't been there. But there's so many cool spots and cool little areas around there that I definitely want to explore more. God, what was the other place? Emerald. Yeah, I went to surf there with a friend. Yeah, I was with him. I spent the weekend with him and his family and had a great time. I mean, I kind of missed the big swell that was there, but there was still some decent surf there. I had a good time.
Nice.
It was a lot of fun, and I think as I was leaving, there was something on the horizon, that always kind of works out. So I was just like, I'll take what I can get. But I'm looking to go to, hopefully, if things work out, to go to Pawleys Island. And that's in June, so next month. So we'll have to kind of see how things are and probably be there for about maybe 3 or 4 days. But I'm just dying to, I'm in Richmond, so I'm landlocked.
I know.
I'm dying to see some beach or some surf or I don't care. I'll take whatever, man.
I hope Pawleys delivers for you, man. That's a hard place, man. That's
it is. It is. It's
Garden City's a little better. Cherry Grove's a little better.
Yeah.
Pawleys just in that armpit. I love the place. Luke Gordon's from there. I mean, hell, that kid. Yeah. He's just like one wave of the winter or something.
Yeah,
he's an amazing surfer, but that is a tough place to surf.
Yeah, I bring my paddleboard.
Yeah,
just in case, on those really super small days. So I'll go exploring with the paddleboard around there too. But yeah, it's been a place that I've been going since. God, we've been going there since '72.
I mean, it's beautiful for sure.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's your neighbor's like way down. It's like way down there. I mean, it's ideal for social distancing for sure.
Oh, yeah.
You don't have people right up on you.
And plus, they only have like 6 parking spots for the whole public. They're the biggest parking Nazis, man. There's no parking there.
There's absolutely none.
I've been out there.
You got to park. They got like little slots, these little these little tiny spots where you can fit like maybe 4 cars in or 5, and that's it. You know, we're just fortunate that we have my uncle has a place there that we can hang out. But what, you know, I guess kind of going back. I mean, what got you into surfing, man? You said that you were living in the Charlotte area. I mean, what sparked that interest of surfing for you?
Well, we moved to Charleston. I can't remember how old I was when we moved to Charleston. I think I was 5 or 6.
Okay.
And so, you know, my dad would take me out, you know, to Folly Beach, Isle of Palm, stuff like that when I was a kid. And then we had the house on Oak Island. And that's basically where I started surfing because I was so small. But,
right.
You know, I started surfing about 8. My older brother was doing it, my brother Topher.
Mm-hmm.
So he got me into it and everything. And, I mean, I surfed a lot when I was a kid, but it was just, you know, whenever my parents would take me out to the beach, I didn't really know what surfing was and stuff.
Right.
And as I grew up, I had friends who surfed, but by the time I was like a teenager, we'd moved away so I only got to surf in the summertime when we went to Oak Island. And when I got back into college at College of Charleston, that's when, you know, I had a car. I could, you know, go wherever I wanted.
Yeah, and we had some mutual friends that you connected with at College of Charleston.
I'm sure.
The Jackson brothers.
Yeah, right. Marion and
Lawton, yeah.
Those guys are awesome, man.
Yeah.
Talk about some wild men. Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, they were from Atlanta, and but they had a vacation home in Bluffton.
Yeah.
So they were friends with my older sister.
Oh,
and
wow.
and I was like the younger brother that would just kind of tag along, you know. It's like, yeah, here's my little brother. We got to bring him with us. So yeah, I was with those guys, and I think I told you a story one time that this was when I was probably a teenager, and I was with, I think it was Marion. I'm pretty sure it was Marion, and we were one of the two, but yeah, we were coming back. We did a lot of water skiing back then. You know, we were huge water skiing in Bluffton. And then we went and got gas, and we were like a little McKee craft. And cruised out to a little McKee craft. And Marion looks at me and is just like, hey, check this out. This big yacht. We were at Calaboogie Sound on the backside of Hilton Head Island. And this big yacht was coming. People were partying on the yacht. And we hit this wake, and I swear, man, we went airborne. You could hear the prop just go out loud, like, wee! And we hit that, both gas cans full came out of the boat. The one stayed on the boat because it was still attached to the engine. I felt like I was probably 14, maybe. I felt like my back was broken. We found it. Luckily, we found the other tank. There was still an air pocket in it, and we found it floating in the water. But yeah, those guys they're a lot of fun. You know? But yeah, I didn't think so at that moment. I was like, hey, I'm tied to that boat. That's probably the worst thing he did. Yeah. But
Marion, dude, don't ever go on a catamaran with him.
Oh, I have.
He is.
I've gone with Marion and Lawton, and with both those guys. And I've been on a big boat. We had a big sailboat. I don't know if it was a family friend or somebody. We were on a big boat, and it's they're good dudes. You know, I was back when we were young and stupid.
Yeah.
But there was always a lot of fun doing hanging out with those guys.
I think those two guys really, like, you know, I think they recognize at an early age that you don't feel alive until you're like really close to death. Because all the times that I've been with them and I thought I was going to die, they seem like they're having the best time of their life.
Oh yeah, it's like something that's super funny, and you're kind of looking at it like, dude, this is not cool, man.
No, we're about to die.
You're right.
I mean, this catamaran, I would be like on its side, like barely anything in the water, and freaking Marion is just like holding on like by a rope. Just screaming his head off.
Right.
And I was just like, oh my gosh, we are going to die. I'm like clinging to a pontoon.
Yeah, I'll have to share some other stories later. I don't know if we can if we should talk about that on air. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with those guys growing up, and I reconnected with them when I moved back to Charleston. I saw Marianne. Marianne came to an art show that it was a girl I was dating at the time. It was her art show. Marianne showed up with his pregnant wife, and then and Lawton. I touched base with Lawton a couple of times because I parked my car. I didn't know really what the parking was on like Folly. I was like, "Hey man, can I park my car in your yard?" And I'll just park my surfboard down. He's like, "Yeah, man, anytime." So I would park at his place, and then after a while, I kind of got my bearings. Like, I don't really need to park at his place. Like, there's other places to park.
Yeah,
but
you gotta be careful parking at Lawton's because he's kind of got like, I don't know. You might lose your car if you leave it there too long.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
he likes to collect stuff, man. It just piles up all over the place.
I've seen it.
Or it used to. I don't know if it does anymore.
I've seen it. Yeah, I remember one time that I saw. I was out surfing, and I think it was right when I moved back to Charleston, and I got my ass handed to me out there, and I came back on the beach, and I'm like laying on the beach, just like trying to catch my breath. And I see these two little blonde headed kids running out on the beach, and it's Lawton and Lawton's kids. Oh, yeah. And these kids come ripping out. I mean, they come out, they're like being brothers, like messing with each other. These kids paddle out there, no problem. And they're just ripping it all the way down. They were heading down to the washout because I was probably on 6th Street, I guess. And I just saw those guys, and it kind of pissed me off, man. I'm like,
I know, McHenry and Griffin. It was insane. I would like remember when I go over there, and Griffin was like maybe 6. And so McHenry, I guess I think McHenry's like 3 or 4 years older. Mm-hmm. And McHenry's like there when I got there, and I'm like, "Where's Griffin?" And he's like, "Oh, I don't know. He's someplace." And there comes Griffin walking from the beach to like by himself, 5 blocks or 3 blocks, where most parents would have a heart attack and everything. And I mean, dude, anybody who wants to try to adopt Griffin, good luck, man. That little kid, his head was so big. He had a pumpkin head, and freaking, there's no way you could get him in a sack or anything.
Oh, that's funny, man. Yeah,
but dude,
I think
fearless.
I ended up seeing the oldest. I don't know them real well. I think I met them when they were a little bit younger, but I remember going to a surf competition. You may have been emceeing it down at the washout. And I think it was, I'm pretty sure that you were. And we had rode down there in some golf carts with I think it was with Marion. And we went and hung out on the beach and checked out the competition and stuff like that. So it was pretty fun. And, but yeah, you did a lot of the, emceed a lot of the competitions down there.
No, I didn't really MC them too much. I was judging a lot.
Oh, you were judging. That's right.
I judged a bunch.
Yeah.
It was usually one of the kids would get on an MC, and Marshall would MC some. And mostly music. They would blast some like 80s tunes, which I loved, of course. It's crazy.
Well, that's what we grew up on, man.
I know. I miss that. I miss the ESA. I mean, they've got a great ESA here. It's all canceled right now. I don't know what's going on with that.
Yeah. Like, so what have the beaches been like there, man? I mean, have beaches been filling up? Or
I think today, I saw a couple pictures of today. Before now, not really, but now you're allowed to have like a beach chair, an umbrella here. You're allowed to do more than just like sit. Yeah. More than just like recreation.
Yeah. I think I heard something like in California, man, it's like you could go to the beach and surf, like you could do activities, but you couldn't like throw a beach towel down or a chair or hang out, but they would let you do those things. And my buddy, go ahead.
Here they did, and it was kind of smart. I think California's doing this too, where they're opening the beaches for that stuff, but not for parking.
Yeah, that's what I heard. I heard about the parking. It's basically like, the beach is here, but
if you don't live close or you don't know somebody,
good luck parking. Good luck finding a place.
Yeah.
I talked to a buddy of mine that lives in Huntington. Asked him to see how things were going, and he said that he's doing things were getting better, and he said that he was thinking about getting to work pretty soon. So
nice.
I don't know. He lived over here on the East Coast he was in Charleston for a bit, and then he said, man, just one day he's just like, man, I'm moving to California. And he hasn't come back. I have a feeling he'll probably go out to Hawaii and probably stay out there. He's just that kind of guy, you know?
Yeah. I did. I moved out there right after college, 96. I was like so tired of waiting on swells. I was just like.
So where did you live in Hawaii?
I didn't live in Hawaii. I lived in California.
Oh, you lived in California?
I lived in Los Angeles for about 4 years. And then I was in San Diego probably 3.5, 4 years also. Mm-hmm. I mean, both places. I mean, LA was okay. It was good for like 4 years. And I got into the music industry. But, you know, there's good surf, but not as good as San Diego's got great surf, you know? Really mellow down there. I really like San Diego. It was a really fun place.
My girlfriend's father lives out that way, so I haven't been. I've never surfed in California. So
surf trip, let's go.
Yeah, I mean,
you got some couches. Hey, I'm your daughter.
Right, and I definitely want to take advantage of that. You know, she had mentioned us going out there for a visit. She's like, yeah, you can get out there and surf. I'm like,
oh my gosh, dude, the waves are so good.
Well, I'll look forward to it, man.
It's just such an easy takeoff. And there are days. Well, I remember when I first moved out there, I would go first. I went surfing a couple times in like Venice and Manhattan Beach, where it's beach break and it's really fun, but it's like kind of when it gets big, it closes out a little bit. And then I went surfing with a couple of California guys. The first spot we checked, it was probably like waist to chest high, and they were like, "Oh, it's flat," and I was like, I already had my wetsuit on. I was like, I'm going out, man. It looks super fun.
I'm from the East Coast, man.
Yeah, I'm dying here. And it was perfect looking, dude. I paddled out and caught like 4 waves. Next thing I know, they were paddling out, and they were like, damn, he's looking good now. And I'm like, yeah, because I'm on it, man. Come on.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't gone out west. I mean, I just surfed up and down the East Coast and surfed a little bit down in Florida. I went to New Smyrna one time, and that was good. I didn't get much surfing in, but I was actually helping teaching somebody to surf. And I didn't know much about it. It was cool because you get to drive on the beach and set up camp, and you can just chill out in your car. I mean, you can't do that in most beaches. And and then when I left, I was telling somebody about it. I think it was when I got back to Virginia. And this guy was like, yeah, man, that's the shark capital of the world, or shark capital of the East Coast. And I was like, oh, all right, cool, man.
Oh, man.
I didn't see any, but yeah.
You didn't?
Nah.
You must not look down.
I was working with the kid that was teaching how to surf. And, I wasn't really paying attention, but yeah, I heard New Smyrna gets pretty hairy. Is what I've been told. Yeah, man. I had no idea. Yeah, I think it was like me and some other, like a bunch of paddle boarders that were around.
Oh, okay.
That we were out there.
I've surfed there a bunch, and I've never surfed there and not seen a shark. I've seen one every time.
Yeah.
But you just like kind of follow the locals, you know, and don't surf by yourself.
Right.
I mean, like I've talked to a couple of guys, and they're, you know, local people who live in New Smyrna, and they're all like, oh yeah, you know, it's like a dog bite, you know, a bad dog bite, you know, that you need to get stitches for.
Yeah.
It happens, you know, and they're totally used to it. They don't care.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. Man.
Yeah.
But I've seen stuff on Volley, you know. I remember seeing like a little black tip shark that was caught in the surf. I mean, just like you're sitting on my board, just looking, and I'm like, is that for real? I mean, this thing's like, it was struggling in the surf. I was like, yeah, it's a shark. I think I'll call it a day. And I've had stuff bump me. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what it was. I scared the shit out of one of my friends. Buddy of mine that was from, he's originally from New Jersey, but he lives in Charleston now. Uh-huh. And, we were surfing, and something, I don't know, I was sitting on my board. We were just sitting there chatting, and something just came up underneath my board and bumped my leg. And I just kind of like jerked my leg up and fell over on my board. It's like, man, my buddy was like gone. He was like paddling. And I was paddling kind of next to him because we were getting back to the shore. And then next thing I know, I'm like trying to catch a wave, to ride on my stomach, and no wave was showing up for me to get up at that point in time. So I'm still paddling, and I look up and Vince is sitting on the beach just waiting for me. Like he's like dude, how did you get up there so quick?
That's crazy, dude.
But he's a really good surfer. I've surfed with him a few times, and I get freezing cold, and I'm from the South, so I'm wearing a full wetsuit, and this guy's out there paddling around in a rash guard and board shorts. Like it's no big deal. And I'm like, dude, it is too cold. But kind of getting back on track with Carolina Surf Brand. When I think the first time you and I met, I think we had some communication. It was either you or somebody with Carolina Surf Brand, because when I was doing the drawings, we had talked about maybe doing like a T-shirt. And I think the first time I actually met you was at some event. I was over then in Charleston, and it may have been like one of the Surf Rider events. It was. I think it was for the.
It wasn't the Isle of Palms thing, was it? The Windjammer?
No, I think it was.
We'd already met at that point.
Yeah, I think it was the no drill, when they were trying to do the off drilling, and they were doing the community was against that, and the Surf Rider Foundation, other groups too. But I think we met at one of their events at that time, and you and I started chatting, and then I'd see you at the surf shop. My boys loved it.
Yeah.
I never could walk out of that place empty-handed. I always had something in my hand.
Oh yeah.
And then I guess when I hung out with you more was when I got involved with the Warrior Surf Foundation.
Yeah.
It's when you guys were super helpful to us with the foundation. And how did you just meet up with? How did you find out about those guys? I mean, did you find out through, just the community, or you knew Andy or Tyler from beforehand when they were starting the foundation?
I mean, I guess I probably met Andy when he was working for Josh at Charleston Surf Lessons.
Yeah.
That's probably the first place I met him. And then he came into the shop and was like, hey, we're making up this foundation to help vets get in the water and help them deal with a lot of problems. He told me all the stuff that he had going on from the injuries he'd have sustained and everything. So, I mean, hats off to him and Tyler both, for like kind of just recognizing the need and then following through on it, and getting all that done. It's definitely not an easy task.
No.
But I mean, he had a lot of fun, like help from you, help from a lot of people. Yeah,
I came in probably, I guess, maybe 5 months after they had started. And how I learned about them was Tyler came by the place I was working at and dropped off like a sticker and looking for a gift certificate for some event that they were having. And my manager knew I surfed, and, I had family members that served in the military, and he was like, hey man, you should check these guys out. This would be probably kind of something cool. And I remember, he gave me the sticker, and then I went online and checked out their website and checked out their mission. And I remember sending an email to the foundation and just asking like, hey man, if you guys need any help, just like carrying a board, boards down to the beach, or setup, or tables for events, just some assistance, I'd love to help out. And I think Andy contacted me back and was like super appreciative, that I was willing to help them out. And then they were doing a drive, and it's kind of funny. Like Columbia got hit by that bad flood in South Carolina, so they were doing like a food drive, and I was supposed to go to a football game with some fraternity brothers. And I heard them about doing the food drive, and I heard about all the, these people were, kind of suffering in Columbia. And I felt like, man, I'm going to go to Columbia and enjoy a football game and try to relive being 21 years old, which is probably not a good idea. And, so I ended up using the money that I was going to use for that trip, bought some food and, supplies for people in Columbia. I dropped it off, and I got to meet Andy face to face. And then Andy introduced me to Bree and introduced me to Tyler. Tyler was doing a tent, like a film. I think it was at the Folly Beach Market.
Oh, nice.
Farmers Market is where it was. And I got to meet them. And then Andy invited me to come down to the beach and to go check things out. And I checked it out and liked what they were about, and just, kind of helped out where I could, with different stuff for them. So, but yeah, I remember picking your brain, man. It's like, yeah, we got to get Chad. How do we get these t-shirts, Chad? How do we do this? And I remember I was trying to come up with the logo for the foundation, which was, that was Tyler's brainchild, actually. And it was at the IOP event when we were hanging at the IOP event. He was like, man, can you do this? And I sketched it out, and then we got Bree involved, and then and then it was the logo was born for the foundation. So
Kemp finished it out. Chris Kemp was he's the one who finalized it.
Chris Kemp was the one that came up with the original logo for the foundation. That was the helmet that they had with
that's right.
the really cool one that he did for them.
Mm-hmm.
And I think originally, I remember talking to Chris about it because I thought that was a pretty sweet design.
Yeah.
I don't think it was really originally designed to be a logo. It was just used for like promotional stuff for the foundation, and they wanted to come up with something, kind of similar to the logo that y'all have for your Carolina Surf brand, something that is recognizable. And yeah. So we kicked a few ideas around. I sketched a few things out, and then we got Bree in to do the graphics she did the graphics for us. And then once we got the final version of that, then it was, I think it was during one of the hurricanes, and I was actually in Wilmington, and I had the worst escape plan ever. I went up the coast and stayed with some people, and the storm came up that way. But and Andy was somewhere inland. He was a little smarter about it, and he sent me a photograph. He goes, "Dude, this is the logos for the new T-shirts," and I was like, "Man, I gotta get my hands on one of those." So
that's killer, man.
Yeah, man. I really appreciate the guys giving me the opportunity to work with them, and
sure.
It's a great thing that it's done. It's changed a lot. I still keep tabs with Andy and some of the crew there, and it's nothing like it was. They're in such another level, another place where they're offering the yoga, they're offering paddle boards. When the surf's not good for the veterans, it's just
that's great.
Yeah, they seem to be doing real well. It was pretty crazy that first couple of years.
It was a fun time.
It was fun. Yeah, we had a great time, but it was just like, I don't know, man. There was times when we didn't know, if we were going to be around the next day.
Yeah,
but something.
Because of Tyler.
Well,
his appear and disappear act. He was like, you'd be like, "Where's Tyler?" And then he would just appear and be like, "Hey, what's going on? Let's drink this. Shot. And then you would turn around and be like, "Oh, that was great. Where'd Tyler go?" And he's like, gone.
He's like the Magic Man. What was that movie? He's like, now you see him, now you don't. It's just like he was infamous for that. And Tyler and I, it's kind of funny because Tyler and I really, with the foundation, Tyler and I really connected in the beginning, and did a lot of stuff together. I mean, we were going out and talking to people about getting donations and awareness for the foundation. And then Tyler had, for personal stuff that was going on that he needed to kind of shift in the behind the scenes and kind of focus on, basically creating a career and a life for himself outside of the foundation. So, and then it shifted where Andy and I were communicating a lot more and hanging out and working with stuff for the foundation. So, and those two guys, I consider them great friends. They're awesome people. There's definitely some just some characters that we ran into.
Oh man!
But Folly has characters. It's just
boy,
being in that world of Folly Beach.
Yeah.
And I would have to explain, like when my sons would come and visit, I'm like, all right, man, this is kind of how things are.
Don't take everything as face value.
Oh yeah.
I mean, the original team was almost like Sergeant Rock, you know, like how you had like the leader. And
Mhm.
you kind of had two leaders. I mean, Tyler was the leader in a way. Andy was a little bit more of a leader, maybe. And
Mhm.
then you had even all the way down to Tommy. Tommy being like the little, you know, you had the bulldog. And
Yeah.
then you got the little dog that's jumping around. Hey, Spike. Hey, Spike. Hey, Spike.
Yeah, Tommy is one of the original OG characters
Yeah.
with the foundation. I mean, he's been in and out. Sometimes Tommy may have faded out, but he's always come back in and is helpful to the foundation. And same with the other crew. I mean, there's you have Mike Lovett.
Oh yeah,
Mike Lovett has been a backbone as far as a foundation. But some of the new crew that they have, like Stephanie Dasher, I mean, Stephanie she's stepped up to the plate and has just really been a huge asset for the foundation. It was kind of funny because when I was at the I forget, I guess it was a festival like 2 years ago, and Chuck would come up to me and he's like, "Hey John, we're doing this thing for the raffle for the foundation, and we need to get you to, what about this?" And I was like, and I went and grabbed Stephanie because I wasn't really affiliated with the foundation anymore. And I grabbed Stephanie and I was like, and brought her over to introduce her to Chuck. And I was like, "Chuck, this is Stephanie. This is Stephanie Dasher. This is the person you talk to." And
got her stuff together.
Oh yeah, man. She's
big time.
She really does. And it's amazing what they've done and added more people to the foundation and what they've built it. I mean, it's just, dude, it's like last trip I went back with Brandon and his buddy Trey, and we went to the oyster roast. I mean, just the way things were organized, it was just so funny seeing people that were manning like the gear, like the table. They had volunteers that were working, and that was us, man. That was us. It was Andy, myself, or Tyler, or Mike, or Tommy, Miles sometimes. That was a little questionable at times.
Sure.
But the original crew that I worked with there were awesome, but it had to grow, and I feel like what I've been told and what I've seen, it looks like they're in a great place.
Oh man, it looks amazing. It's just like like you said, it's a whole nother level. And that's how you kind of have to go. You can't stay at this, with pretty much everything. You have to just keep like kind of looking out and trying to get bigger and better, I mean,
you have to. And also they're trying to reach out to a more broader base of like veterans and helping people out and the different programs that they're offering. I mean, it's just a ripple effect. So it's just been basically just with these new programs they put in, and it's able to bring more people into the group to help them out. So
yeah, definitely.
But the people in the beginning, the people, that helped out, I mean, it wouldn't be, where it is today if it wasn't for those people that helped us. I mean, like Carolina Surf Brand, Ocean Surf Shop, a lot of the community support with the foundation when originally, like the Follies Beach Farmers Market, that crew they were huge supporters. When we sold mac and cheese and grilled cheese sandwiches for our deal, and they missed us after a while, after we kind of crashed off and did bigger things. They were just like, "Oh man, that would be," and we talked about that, man. We talked about it as kind of maybe we should go back and, have a booth and cook grilled cheese and mac and cheese for them again. That's just kind of as a thank you. But yeah, man, I guess, what I was going to talk about is just kind of, we talked about the business. I mean, where are y'all kind of with the Carolina Surf Film Festival now? I mean, with all of this going on right now, I know things are probably pretty much up in the air as far as what you guys are going to do. I know that in Charleston, y'all held it at Tradesman's Brewery. Y'all moved from Brick House to that location.
Yeah.
Where were y'all having it? Y'all were having it in Wilmington?
Wilmington at the Waterman Brewery.
Right.
Because kind of an iconic place almost on Wrightsville Beach. It's right before the bridge.
Okay.
And it used to be a place called Fibber McGee, so everybody knew it. It had been like a college bar for a long time, kind of like a little bigger dive bar. And they shut down, and I think the building came up for sale. And these really cool cats, Bob High, Craig G, and Waterman Don is what I call him, Donnie. And they all bought it, and they turned it into a brewery and restaurant. And it's such an unbelievable place. Right now I've been kind of looking into programs like this to do a virtual one for the time being until we can get like bigger audiences together. And then after that, we'll see what they limit us to as far as getting people together. I've also explored the option of doing a drive-in theater, and just get an FM transmitter for the audio.
Dude, that would be pretty sweet if you could do that.
Yeah.
I was talking to my son about that the other day because our big thing is going to movies, man. I mean, that was like a thing that we did, with all my sons, all three of them, is that, we would get together and go to the movies. And it's like, man, we don't have that now. But my youngest son was like, drive-through. We could do the drive-through.
Yeah, drive-in movies, man.
Drive-in movies. Sounds well.
Yeah, pretty much the same thing. Drive-by.
But that would be awesome. Is there one? I mean, how many of those things are still around?
Well, I mean, we would just do it ourselves. We got the screen, the projector. All we got to do is buy the FM transmitter and figure out how to plug it into the audio and how far out that can reach, and make sure it syncs up with the video. I mean, there's like people doing it overseas and in America as far as like drive-in concerts where people are just, coming in and they stay in their car, so they're still socially, not near each other.
Wow, man.
Yeah.
I like that idea way better. That would be so cool.
Yeah. We just need a stage to kind of elevate the screen, and then it's on.
Yeah, I've always had such a good time at y'all's events. I think I may have missed last year's, but the times before at the Brick House was always fun. And then
the Brick House is such a treasure.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. A lot of funny times there too.
Yeah.
I was gonna say at the Tradesman, I had it was so funny because we had the booth. I remember setting up my camera and doing like a time lapse of the people just zipping by and stuff like that, and just seeing some of the faces there. I mean, running into Juan, who was a character in himself.
Oh yeah,
he got. I think he had a little too much to drink and got lost. And he was asking for me as like, it was like I lost my child at the mall or something. And
that happens.
Yeah, dude. I think he had stopped drinking. And then I remember somebody gave me one of their beers and I didn't really care for it. I was like, here you go, Juan, drink this. And he drank the whole thing like really quickly. And then, and then after he drank, he's like, dude, I haven't been drinking for like 5 months or something. And I'm like,
oh no.
Yeah, I think one or two beers did it in for him that time.
Probably.
Yeah. I remember running into Kenny.
Yeah.
Kenny there and just
big old Kenny.
Oh, you can't miss the guy.
He's amazing.
He is. I love that guy. I think the last time I saw him, geez, we ran into him somewhere. I don't know. I saw him one time when he was just like, he was just walking across the street at Folly, and I told him to get out of the street. I was like, man, get out of the street, dude. And
you don't want to hurt your car.
No, that would damage your car for sure.
Yeah,
the guy is tall. It's sweet, the nicest guy though.
Yeah,
I mean, he's the huge,
oh my God,
big man, but it's like the nicest dude.
Gentle giant, dude.
Oh yeah, I mean, basically, I think you helped us out, pick out the surfboard for him. Yeah.
I was about to talk about that.
Yeah,
it was amazing because he comes in, he's like, I want to get a surfboard. I was like, oh crap, do we have one that big?
I know. Dude. It's like you had to sell him a paddleboard, dude.
Yeah, almost. It was a happy ending, a 10-foot happy ending.
Yeah, it was
Gary Wilson.
It was G Wilson. Yeah,
yeah.
That he got. Yeah, he had that board for a while.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember seeing him. Actually, I remember after he bought that board, I remember seeing him on the beach, and it was, this was before I could just see this tower of a person stand up on the board and just kind of ride the wave just straight in,
block out the sunset.
Yeah, dude, you could not miss him. I mean, you'd see people in the lineup, and you see this big tall guy just kind of ride a wave right in. It was Kenny.
Yeah.
I remember chasing him down to let him know that I saw him out there. But yeah,
awesome.
Yeah, dude. Well, I'm glad that you've been able to open your shop up and
thanks, man.
Get some business coming in, and I appreciate you taking out the time and talking with me about. Yeah, man, appreciate you, and doing the podcast, man.
Sunlight's starting to get me.
Yeah, very first one. I'm starting to lose sunlight in my eyes. It's starting to get dark in here. I had a light set up last time, but I got lazy, man. I left it in my car. I've just been using the natural light.
Yeah, but good, though.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I appreciate you taking out the time, and hopefully, once things kind of simmer down, man, we can have that get the troops together and hang out with you down at Carolina Beach.
Definitely.
Man, I need some beach time. Seriously.
Come on.
All right, man. All right, well, brother, I'll let you sign off, and thanks again, and I'll catch you soon, man. I'll catch you in those group texts. All right.
Okay.
All right, brother.
All right.
Take care, man.